Imagine waking up on an ordinary day, checking your phone, and suddenly a message from someone you haven't seen in years appears. It could be an ex-partner, a long-lost friend, or even a job opportunity you thought was out of your reach. Coincidence? Not exactly. Venus has just entered retrograde, and what is about to happen will turn your life upside down. For better or worse, it all depends on one thing: how you react to what lies ahead. Now, think quickly. What if I told you that, at this very moment, the universe is pushing you towards a path you never imagined walking? And that, if you hesitate, you might miss one of the greatest opportunities of your life? This is not superstition, nor cheap magic. It's a powerful cosmic cycle that has already influenced historical revolutions, major financial crises, and even unexpected changes in love and career. And now, it's knocking at your door. The question is, are you prepared for what comes next? Because, like it or not, Venus retrograde doesn't wait for anyone. The impact of Venus retrograde on love and relationships. If there is a planet that governs the mysteries of the heart, that planet is Venus. It controls our desires, connections, and the way we give and receive love. But when it goes retrograde, it reveals hidden secrets and exposes truths we would rather ignore. And the most impressive part, the most remarkable moments in history were directly influenced by Venus retrograde. In 2017, for example, when Venus retrograde passed through Aries, there was a significant increase in public separations among celebrities, such as Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner, shocking millions of fans. In 2020, this transit coincided with the global increase in divorces, as the pandemic forced couples to confront truths they had avoided for years. But it's not just separations that dominate this period. Karmic reunions are happening more frequently than ever. Have you ever had that strange experience of dreaming about someone from the past and, a few days later, receiving a message from that person? This is not a coincidence, it's Venus retrograde reopening energetic portals. If there is one thing this transit does not forgive, it is relationships based on illusion. What seems stable can start to crumble. Hidden lies come to light. The silence that was once comfortable becomes unbearable. If a relationship was built on a fragile foundation, the truth will be laid bare, and there will be no escaping it. The question that needs to be asked now is your relationship real, or just an idealization? Venus retrograde does not destroy relationships, it only exposes what was already weak, and gives the chance to rebuild or move on. And the most important thing, true love withstands chaos. If the connection is strong, this will be a period of deepening, where the masks fall and the truth strengthens the bonds. But if it is based on illusions, retrograde Venus will tear it away from you mercilessly. And this is just the first part of the transformation, because now another sector of your life is also about to be shaken. And this time, we're not talking about love, but rather about money, power, and the future you are building without realizing it. The impact of Venus retrograde on finances and life purpose. If Venus controls love, it also governs another essential aspect of life: money and power. This planet influences our relationship with wealth, financial opportunities, and even our perception of success. But when it goes retrograde, the stability that seemed guaranteed can crumble overnight. History has already shown that major economic crises coincided with retrograde Venus transits. In the 2013 cycle, for example, the financial market experienced significant instabilities, with sharp declines in investments and unexpected changes in the real estate sector. In 2009, during the global recession, Venus was in retrograde, and thousands of people lost their jobs, companies went bankrupt, and entire economic systems were shaken. And why does this happen? Because this cosmic transit is not limited to messing with your bank balance, it challenges your relationship with prosperity. It forces you to look beyond the frantic pursuit of status and ask yourself, does what I am chasing really make me happy? Many who dedicate themselves tirelessly to a draining job without personal fulfillment begin to feel a profound restlessness. What once seemed like a clear goal begins to lose its meaning. This period reveals whether you are following an authentic path or just settling into something that doesn't fulfill you. And it doesn't stop there. During Venus retrograde, financial opportunities arise unexpectedly and disappear just as quickly. Job offers, partnership proposals, and promising investments may seem irresistible, but the danger lies in impulsiveness. With Venus retrograde passing through Aries, a sign known for its haste and desire for immediate action, the risk of making hasty decisions is greater than ever. If you want to avoid regrets, the key is prudence. This is not the time for big purchases, risky investments, or thoughtless decisions. Those who know how to act with patience and strategy will come out of this period stronger and richer, not just in their pockets, but in clarity about what really matters. Now, if money and success are being challenged, there is a third force that will also be put to the test. And this time, it can completely transform the way you deal with the people around you. The chaos in connections and the ego war during Venus retrograde. If there is one factor that makes Venus retrograde even more unpredictable, it is the impact it has on interpersonal relationships. During this period, patience runs out, words come out unfiltered, and misunderstandings turn into true storms. The reason? Venus does not only influence love and money, it also regulates our social interactions, the way we value others, and the balance in relationships. But when its energy goes into retrograde, what once seemed stable can become an emotional battleground. And this effect is not limited to couples. Friendships, professional partnerships, and even family bonds suffer unexpected wear and tear. Have you ever felt that? All of a sudden, the people around you seem more impatient, reactive, or difficult to deal with. This happens because retrograde Venus exposes weaknesses that are normally ignored, causing small tensions to become explosive. The big trap of this period is the battle of egos. As the retrograde is occurring under the influence of Aries, a sign of impulsivity and personal assertion, it is natural for there to be an increase in the desire to be right at any cost. This causes trivial disagreements to escalate into heated arguments where no one wants to give in. And here's the real test. Not every provocation needs a response. If you feel that your patience is shorter than usual, or notice that you are interpreting every comment as a personal attack, take a pause. Many of these reactions do not come from what the other person said, but rather from what this transit is bringing to the surface within you. Therefore, the greatest wisdom during this period is not to win arguments, but to learn to observe your own reactions. Not every disagreement means disrespect, and not every criticism is an affront. Those who manage to control their emotions and act with maturity will come out of this cycle with stronger relationships, while those who are dominated by their ego may end up breaking important bonds that might never be restored. And if you think you've already faced the biggest challenges of this transit, wait until you see what's coming next. Because the final phase of Venus retrograde not only tests your patience, it completely redefines who you are. The identity crisis and the imminent transformation. If there's one thing that Venus retrograde in Aries doesn't allow, it's for you to keep hiding behind masks. This cosmic transit not only impacts your love, your finances, and your relationships, it also affects your own identity. Have you ever felt like you were living a life that didn't feel like yours? That the choices you made in the past now seem wrong? Or that something inside you is trying to break free? This is the effect of retrograde. He doesn't ask for permission to act. He shakes up your reality until you finally face the truth about yourself, and that can be uncomfortable. During this period, many people go through existential crises, questioning if they are on the right path. What once seemed like a clear goal can completely lose its meaning. Friendships that used to be part of your routine may seem superficial. And the most frightening part, certain habits and thought patterns that you have always had may begin to unravel before your eyes. But here's the secret. This is not the end, it's the beginning of something greater. Venus retrograde does not destroy identities. It reconstructs them. It forces you to abandon outdated versions of yourself so that something new can emerge. This explains why so many people change radically during this period, switching jobs, ending relationships, or even rediscovering passions they had forgotten. But there is a crucial detail. You can resist, or you can allow yourself to grow. Those who try to cling to what no longer makes sense will experience a period of frustration and blockages. Those who accept the process, even without fully understanding where they are going, will discover that transformation can be the best thing that has ever happened in their lives. The question you need to ask yourself now is, who do you want to be when this transition is over? Because one thing is certain, you will not come out of it the same way you went in. And before Venus resumes its direct course, there is one last challenge waiting for you. A final test that will determine if you have learned the lesson or if you will be forced to repeat it in the future. The final test. Choose between resisting or evolving. Now that Venus retrograde has revealed truths about love, money, and your own identity, there remains one final obstacle, the final test. This is the moment when the universe asks, did you really learn the lesson, or will you need to repeat it in the future? Historically, periods of Venus retrograde coincide with moments of great decision. If we look back, we can see that many leaders, artists, and influential figures took unexpected turns in their lives during this transit. Big career changes, shocking breakups, and personal reinventions happen more frequently during these cycles than at any other time. But there is an important detail. The choices made now cannot be based on fear. If you insist on holding on to what no longer belongs to your journey, Venus retrograde will do the work for you, and usually in an abrupt and painful way. Think about how many times life tried to show you that something needed to change, but you ignored the signs. This is the moment when what is misaligned finally crumbles. And yes, it may seem scary, but remember, what is real does not get lost. What is true remains. If something is slipping through your fingers now, it may never have truly been yours. The big mistake that many people make during this transit is acting on impulse, reacting emotionally instead of making conscious decisions. And this is understandable. The energy of Aries makes everything more intense, increasing the need for immediate action. But this is a test of patience and trust. If you act without clarity, you might end up burning bridges that you would need to cross in the future. So, here is the big question. Are you going to resist and try to hold on to what is crumbling, or are you going to trust the process and allow the transformation to happen? Because at the moment Venus resumes its direct motion, the opportunities that now seem confusing will make sense, and the choices made during this period will define the next months of your life. What you decide now will shape your future, and the only question that remains is, are you ready to take the next step?